Hey everyone, and welcome to our latest explainer. Today, we are diving into something absolutely fascinating, the cutting edge of advanced laboratory design. We're going to decode exactly how Tezgen Lab Solutions is redefining modern scientific environments. We'll be looking at their complete turnkey setups, their power as a direct manufacturer, and how they use innovative customization to build spaces that just work. Okay, let's get started.
Okay, let's jump right into our roadmap for today. First up, we've got the perfect laboratory puzzle. Second, we'll look at Tezgen as the catalyst. Third, their complete turnkey laboratory solutions. Fourth, designing for the future. And finally, customized and flexible solutions.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the perfect laboratory puzzle, and honestly, the very real challenge of modern lab design. Because modern workspaces are changing incredibly fast, and nowhere's that more true than in the sciences. You know, if you've ever set foot inside a highly active modern laboratory, you know it's buzzing. But here's the thing. A poorly designed layout in that kind of space can literally cost hundreds of hours of research time over a single year. Planners are almost always dealing with limited facilities. You've got strict constraints on square footage, budget, and existing infrastructure. So designing a lab workspace isn't just about dropping a few benches into a room. It is a massive logistical nightmare. You have to balance highly sensitive equipment, rigorous safety standards, and the need for a physically comfortable environment where researchers are spending long, grueling hours every single day.
And that's exactly why I love this quote from their catalog. It really frames their whole philosophy. For us, this is a perfect puzzle waiting to be solved. Designing and building a laboratory isn't standard construction. It's piecing together a highly complex, multi-dimensional puzzle. Every single piece, from the ventilation systems right down to the casework, must interlock flawlessly for the final picture to emerge. They're blending intense architectural and engineering knowledge with deep, practical experience to solve this exact puzzle for their clients.
So, who exactly is stepping up to solve this puzzle? Let's transition to our next section, Tezgen, the catalyst, and see how they are igniting research across the globe.
Now, what's really interesting here is the origin of the company's name. In Old Turkish, Tezgen translates directly to catalyst, something meant to ignite a reaction. And this isn't just a clever corporate label. It's a literal reflection of their mission. Their ultimate goal is to act as the catalyst for the research itself. By redesigning buildings and overcoming the frustrating limitations of older facilities, they basically set the stage. They build the absolute optimal environment so that the actual scientific work can truly take off. And they aren't just doing this for one hyper-specific niche either. They serve a massive matrix of diverse industries. We're talking diagnostic, research and development, hospital and clinical spaces, life sciences, public health, microbiology, molecular clean rooms, and industrial chemical facilities. This huge cross-pollination of ideas is absolutely crucial. Think about it. It means an innovation developed for the strict airflow of a molecular clean room can actually end up benefiting the efficiency of a standard public health lab. Solving the laboratory puzzle requires them to blend this vast engineering knowledge across practically every scientific discipline imaginable. Which brings us right into Section 3, Complete Turnkey Laboratory Solutions. Let's look at how their anahtar teslim, or turnkey approach, takes a project from a mere blueprint all the way to reality. And this brilliantly illustrates that whole anahtar teslim concept. Transforming a flat, highly technical architectural blueprint into a finished, high-end, working laboratory is exactly what they do. They manage the entire journey from that flat 2D plan to the physical reality. They aren't just dropping off boxes of furniture and wishing you luck. They are taking total ownership of the whole puzzle from the second the initial lines are drawn to the day the researchers finally sit down at their microscopes. Breaking down the exact steps of this turnkey solution really shows you how comprehensive it is. Step 1 is project consultancy, working directly with the facility to figure out their exact workflow needs. Step 2 is manufacturing and providing the structural furniture and equipment. And step 3, that goes all the way down to providing instruments, chemicals, and consumables. Because they are a direct provider and manufacturer, they literally supply everything required to conduct the research. When they hand over the keys, the lab is 100% ready to go. During that initial consultancy phase, there are two massive, competing priorities that have to be balanced perfectly. On one side, you have rigorous safety planning, prioritizing fire safety, chemical containment, electrical safety, emergency exits, all that crucial stuff. On the other side, you've got equipment layout, ensuring efficiency, accessibility, and a smooth daily workflow. A successful lab requires strict, uncompromising safety protocols, for sure, but it also desperately needs a layout that supports seamless cooperation. Let's be real, if a researcher has to walk across the room 50 times a day just to safely reach a vital centrifuge, that is a design failure. Tezgen's engineering blends these two completely distinct requirements flawlessly. Okay, stepping into Section 4, we need to shift our focus a bit to their innovative mindset. Let's explore what it means to be designing for the future and bringing future lab ideas into today's reality. In a highly futuristic, modern lab environment, scientific demands are constantly evolving. Lifestyles and working life change literally every single day, and the world absolutely has to keep pace. Being able to make accurate future predictions is vital for these facilities. You really don't want to invest millions building a state-of-the-art lab that becomes entirely obsolete in 5 years because it can't handle new automation technologies. Tezgen approaches their designs with this incredibly forward-looking, innovative mindset to ensure your lab can adapt to the technologies of tomorrow. So the crucial point is captured perfectly in this quote right here. Providing the same solutions for every need is the problem itself. I just love this analytical take. A rigid one-size-fits-all approach is a complete failure in modern science. Deep innovation demands that we stop forcing unique research into standard little boxes. Every single facility has a unique workflow. Providing the exact same standard bench for a microbiology lab as an industrial chemical lab is kind of like asking a master chef and an auto mechanic to use the exact same set of tools. It just doesn't work. Which leads us perfectly into our final and honestly perhaps most important section, customized and flexible solutions. Let's see exactly how Tezgen achieves this future-ready design by leveraging their capabilities as a direct manufacturer. Unlike companies that only offer standard solutions, where you're basically forced to make your complex lab operations fit into their rigid catalog, Tezgen utilizes flexible production. Because they actually control the manufacturing floor, they aren't forced to just push pre-made boxes. Instead, they offer highly customizable solutions tailored to exact designs and dimensions. So if you have an awkwardly shaped room or tricky architectural pillars in an older facility, they don't just shrug and say, good luck. They'll manufacture a custom-dimensioned bench or fume hood that fits that exact space perfectly. And look at this. We don't just have to settle for typical, sterile, gray metal boxes anymore. Installing vibrantly colorful, customized fume hoods completely changes the psychology of a workspace. Tezgen brings tremendous aesthetic flexibility right alongside their technical precision. A modern lab should be a place where researchers actually enjoy spending their grueling hours. Customizing the colors and the visual design of the heavy equipment plays a massive part in the overall mental comfort, focus, and morale of the entire scientific team. Let's move to the technical side and see how this builds, because this aesthetic flexibility is backed by massive technical capabilities. Just looking at their fume hoods alone, they offer an incredible array of advanced, engineered options. They manufacture bypass air systems meeting the strict EN 1475 standard, huge walk-in cupboards, units made of polypropylene for highly corrosive chemical resistances, sleek stainless steel options, as well as ductless and filtered exhaust systems. They don't just have one standard product. They have an entire matrix of highly specific technical options engineered for whatever unique chemical reaction you're running. And this customization literally goes down to the absolute smallest detail. It isn't just about choosing a size, right? It's about customizing the digital control panels, selecting the exact worktop material for your specific chemical needs, choosing the sash window design, deciding on the internal underbench cabinets, and picking the specific layout of specialized gas caps and electrical plug options. By controlling that flexible production from start to finish, Tezgen ensures that the final product isn't just a generic piece of equipment, it is a specialized instrument tailored precisely to make your specific space truly yours. So, we've seen how Tezgen takes the complex puzzle of modern lab design and solves it completely through their Anahtar Teslim turnkey services, their flexible direct manufacturing, and their incredibly forward-thinking innovation. They construct the optimal environment so that you can focus entirely on the science itself. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. Tezgen is ready to be your catalyst. What reaction will you ignite next? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into laboratory solutions. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.